Greetings, friends. This is Elizabeth Schermer with an intuitive reading for the Grids of Light on Sunday, November 27th. Today's reading is in anticipation of Tuesday's new moon in Sagittarius, which occurs at 4:18 a.m. Pacific Time, and that's on Tuesday, November 29th. The card in front of you is the tarot card that represents Sagittarius. In the Thoth deck, it's called Art. In most other decks, it's called Temperance. And the word temperance refers to the tempering of steel, and that happens through the application of heat and pressure. It's a process of alchemy that strengthens and transforms and clarifies, and that's actually the process that Sagittarius offers us every year. And the process of alchemy that is illustrated in this card, which is the process of new levels of spiritual awareness, new levels of insight, expansion of knowledge, and expansion of consciousness, which leads to an incredible increase in vitality and inspiration and courage and intuition and the ability to align with will to access new potentials and new possibilities. What's really significant about the astrology for this new moon is that it specifically indicates the potential for us as a collective and personally, and both as a collective and personally, to connect with new understandings and new realizations that allow us to move forward as a group at a higher level. And we all know very much how this is so needed now. And actually, this is the birth that's happening that we are witnessing through all of the painful circumstances around us. One perspective is to really witness this as a birth. And so the specific potential for 8 degrees Sagittarius within the Sabian symbol is that new elements are being formed from the depths of the earth, and that those new elements are contributing to a new birth of one's inner life. Here, I actually wrote a couple notes. Let me look at my notes because I want to be succinct here. It's a new element that purifies and transforms. The alchemy that's aroused from this process is leading to a new awareness, to new responses to life. And here's what's super interesting. The process is activated by group ambitions and group emotions. This is not just personal, it's also collective. And so I offer today's reading with the intention for each of you to receive the inspiration and hope that's available with this birth of new light and new possibility and new momentum, and that we together know that we can contribute to healing around us. And I'd also, because of the number of people who view this, I also want to include the intention for light and strength and protection to the defenders of the earth, the defenders of our collective who are currently at Standing Rock and throughout the world. All those warriors who are showing up for healing on the earth. Okay, so the potential for transformation, for new connection to truth and fire within. And before I dive into the reading, I want to show one more card that can give a practical image here. And that is the Knight of Wands, which is the court card that is connected with Sagittarius. And the Knight of Wands signifies the capacity for courage, for determination, for willpower, for illumination, for vitality, for alignment with intuition, for alignment with new potentials, and then the willingness and the strength to charge forward and carry that into the world, those new beginnings. The knight holds the Ace of Wands in one of his hands, and right here, signifying new beginning. And so know that each of you can connect with this potential now as the sun and moon join. And then remember that this potential is carried forward for the coming month. The point of 8 degrees Sagittarius is what launches the potential, and then it unfolds throughout the coming month leading up to winter solstice. So in a sense, We are now integrating, we're going deep to bring forward the new potentials that will be born at winter solstice with the dawn of light. Okay, long-winded introduction today, but it felt really important. And so now I'd like to share this reading with you that, I got a lot of encouragement, received encouragement from it, and I hope you do too. First card to the left in the position of circumstances in the body, the Nine of Wands is called Strength. And one of the synchronicities here is that the Nine of Wands astrologically represents the sun in Sagittarius. And so this is absolutely an indication that in our circumstances, in our ability to show up in our life, both in our physical body and also in the circumstances of our life, we have the opportunity now to step to a new level of self-actualization, a new level of personal power, and a new quality of consciousness and awareness that comes from deep within. The moon at the bottom and the sun at the top, you could think of as your grounding to earth and your activation of your crown. And that central wand is like a picture of your spinal column, your column of light, and your ability to remain in dynamic balance. This is not a static card. It's a card of the ability to harness life force and then really show up fully aligned, fully empowered, and inspired. And one thing I want to add here, I'm getting the word intensity, is that you have what you need to harness and show up to intensity right now and to harness that intensity for even more momentum. The card all the way, actually I'm going to save the central card. I'm going to show the companion card to the Nine of Wands is in spirit. The Four of Wands is called completion. Now this doesn't signify an ending, and actually the wheel can help you understand that. It's a kind of completion of an integration, the end of a cycle that signifies a new beginning. This is Venus in Aries, which is a beginning of vitality and also integration of the heart. And so in my interpretation, the Nine of Wands is the personal card of us having new abilities to show up in our life, and that's being supported by source energy and the energy of the new moon with this quality of completion and integration of old patterns that give us a new kind of energetic foundation and the ability to go deep. There's a quality of resolution of past conflicts and ability to embrace polarity and understand things from a new perspective in order to fully show up. So this, in the midst of the turmoil of the past month, this both of these cards signify a kind of energetic integration that is possible now. And then the card in the middle, the star, which is card of you really connecting to the light. The position is the mind or awareness. And so this is your capacity now to connect to the big picture. And this is very much, to me, bridges a practical reading as well as a big picture reading. The star represents Aquarius. And when I received the messages here, I draw the reading and sit with it and meditate for a few minutes before I do the video. I really got, for myself at least, that this is encouragement that we are at the dawning of a new age. The age of Aquarius is the dawning of a new era. That is the birth that we are witnessing. The turmoil is about the dismantling of old forms that don't serve us in order to expand into new potentials. And actually, the position of Saturn and Mercury in the astrology chart, conjunct the sun and moon, are very strongly signifying access to new understanding, new information, and the support for releasing old forms. And that we can do this as a collective. We are showing up as a collective. So the potential for you to show up in strength will especially come through your ability to connect to light, to use your practices to stay open, to receive light, to know that you can trust your insights, you can trust your inspiration, and you can trust the illumination that you feel within, and then bring that to the world. So I always end with an extra card asking for any practical advice or any additional information. And the final card for today's reading is the Princess of Discs, which represents you in your ability to hold space for this birth of new form. I don't know if you can see in the image, but the princess is pregnant. She's holding new life, and she is directly bringing that light of the star, the light of the star into the world, through the wand at the base of, through the diamond at the base of her scepter. She is taking the light of the sun and light of new consciousness and light of new potential and directing it into the earth as she gives birth to new forms. So this is a message to each of you that you can trust the birth that we are all showing up for. And also, I feel this is also a very specific indicator of the auspices of this reading being the importance of preparing for solstice, because she's also representing the birth of new light that's coming in a month, and our opportunity now to really show up for this really amazing process of transformation that we are here for and that we can do together. We are doing together. So I want to thank each of you for your participation in this work of this lifetime, and for sharing this message, and for bringing forward your own light to the world. We each have something really valuable and unique to contribute, and so I hope that in these coming days you will also take time for yourself to honor that light that you bring, and to honor the light in those around you. And I will be back with you again in a couple of weeks at the full moon. Until then, this is Elizabeth Schermer with the Alchemy Mystery School and an intuitive reading for the Grids of Light.